그냥 그때 꺼야지. 누구 주고 좋으라고. 너 같은 남도 이렇게 살만 사는데 내가 왜?
The story begins from a high school student who dreams of becoming an architect. She lives alone. She is Moon Dong-eun. But fate said otherwise. She became a victim of bullying by her friends at school. The bullying by her friends was too much. Then, it makes Dong-eun cannot stand it. One day she reported her bullying friends to the police. But sadly, their parents had great influence, which resulted in everyone being silent about what happened to Dong-eun. For the umpteenth time, Dong-eun was tortured and harassed by her bullies who were her own friends. This time Dong-eun reported their actions to the nurse in the school health room. When the nurse wants to know who did it, suddenly Yeon-jin casually, without feeling guilty, admits that it was her doing. Apparently not only at school, but after Dong-eun came home, she was being waited for her friends to bully her. They never stop hurting Dong-eun. They even injured Dong-eun mentally and physically. What's worse, they burned Dong-eun's feet with an iron. The next day Dong-eun is surprised to find out that the nurse who sympathizes with her has been fired. And at night, actually she intends to end her life. But she felt that it would not end the pain. Finally, she decided to change schools. When writing the reasons for moving schools, Dong-eun explained that she experienced violence at school. But this made the vice principal angry. He asked Dong-eun to change the reason, but Dong-eun refused. Finally, after Yeon-jin's mother bribed the vice principal, the school forged Dong-eun's resignation letter. This made Dong-eun realize that the world only sided with those with influence. Day after day, Dong-eun lives her life with pain and despair that almost makes her give up. She also continues to convince herself that she must fight the injustice that befell her. She promises that one day those who do bad things to her will have to feel what she has felt all this time. Shortly, as a result of her hard work so far, Dong-eun managed to pass her exams and attend college. If previously Dong-eun dreamed of becoming an architect, now her dream is to make people who have made her suffer feel the same way. One day, Dong-eun visits the town where she attended high school to gather information about all things related to her past bullies. Starting from Myung-oh, who used to harass Dong-eun, now he is a drug courier who doubles as Jae-jun's man. Sarah is a painter as well as a drug user. Hae-jung is now a flight attendant who has a hidden love for Jae-jun. While Jae-jun is a playboy, he is the heir to a rich businessman. Yeon-jin is a news anchor. And she will soon marry a conglomerate. One day at Yeon-jin's wedding ceremony, it seems that Dong-eun is there to take a closer look. However, coming home from teaching private lessons, she fainted. When she realized, she was lying in the hospital already. Beside her, a man also lay with many bruises and cuts on his face. His name is Ju Yeo-jung. Apparently, he is a doctor. Dong-eun immediately got up and removed the 4-needle. But the man next to him tried to stop Dong-eun, but he couldn't. Dong-eun left before hearing the results of her examination. And it turned out she had anemia. One day, Yeo-jung continues to follow Dong-eun until they become friends, playing a Go game at a Go game park. At first, Yeo-jung only told Dong-eun her illness. But thanks to Yeo-jung's expertise in playing Go game, he teaches Dong-eun the game. On the other hand, Go game is Yeon-jin's husband's favorite game. Dong-eun intends to approach Yeon-jin's husband with this game. Yeo-jung and Dong-eun met almost every day and played Go together. And one day, Dong-eun said that today was her last day playing Go with Yeo-jung. 2 years later, Dong-eun passed the teacher selection examination. Apparently Dong-eun's dream has changed drastically. Everything she does is focused on one thing: take revenge on the perpetrators of her bullying. Including becoming a teacher was part of her plans. Shortly, 6 years have passed. Jin and her husband have a daughter who is now entering elementary school. On the other hand, Yeo-jung always visited the Go Park where he used to play Go with Dong-eun. Meanwhile, Dong-eun meets a middle-aged mother named Hyo-nam. This mother experienced violence from her husband. Finally, Dong-eun and Hyo-nam agreed. Dong-eun promises to help get rid of Hyo-nam's husband, but in exchange that Hyo-nam has to spy on her bullies. In addition, Dong-eun is willing to provide free tutoring every Sunday for Hyo-nam's child on a train. Shortly, Hyo-nam managed to get important information about Jin. She also told Dong-eun that Jin had a daughter. In addition, they often come to the eye clinic. This reminds Dong-eun of Jae-jun, who has color blindness. Dong-eun's first action begins. One day she tries to attract the attention of Jin's husband, Do-yeon, at a Go game arena. Their Dong-eun always managed to win every game. It seems that Dong-eun's plan is starting to work. That night, Do-yeon is disturbed by Dong-eun's game, who always wins. Once upon a time, when Dong-eun was giving tutoring to Hyo-nam's child, she accidentally met Yeo-jung. They talked to each other for a while. And Yeo-jung also gave his business card to Dong-eun. In the evening, Hyo-nam provides information regarding Jin's daughter's school. Apparently, the head of the school's foundation is a gay. And this provides a great opportunity for Dong-eun to work at that school. She goes to meet the chairman of the foundation and with some evidence, she threatens the chairman of the foundation to be allowed to become the class teacher of Jin's daughter. Finally, the chairman of the foundation agreed to Dong-eun's request. One day, when Dong-eun attends her school anniversary. Apparently, the school appointed Jin as the best alumni representative in the school. It seems that not only Dong-eun is present, but all of her bullies are also present at the event. Dong-eun gave the loudest applause. This caught the attention of everyone present. And when the event was over, Jin, who felt annoyed, immediately approached Dong-eun and slapped her hard. All the bullies are surprised when they find out that Dong-eun is showing resistance. In fact, she said clearly that Dong-eun still remembers clearly what they have done to her. Unexpectedly, after that Dong-eun meets Myong-oh. She wanted to cooperate secretly. Dong-eun uses a student problem, named Seo-hee, who was declared a suicide. Dong-eun tells Myong-oh that Seo-hee did not commit suicide. Rather, she was pushed by someone from rooftop. Dong-eun will tell Myong-oh who the culprit is, but Myong-oh has to find a strand of Jae-jun's hair. Apparently, Dong-eun wanted to match Jae-jun's DNA with Jin's daughter. Also, thanks to Myong-oh, Dong-eun finds out about Sarah's drug passbook and also about the guy Hae-jong likes. In exchange for Myong-oh's help, Dong-eun gave Myong-oh a piece of paper in return. On the paper was written the number of the mortuary of a hospital where Seo-hee's body was kept. From the hospital, he knows that Seo-hee was a victim of bullying before Dong-eun. This makes Myong-oh happy, because he can blackmail the perpetrator, who is none other than his friend. One day, Jin received a call from her daughter informing her that there was a new class teacher named Moon Dong-eun in her class. Realizing who Moon Dong-eun was, her daughter mentioned, she rushed to her daughter's school. Right after class ended, Jin went to see Dong-eun. Dong-eun frankly said that she had planned everything with the aim of taking revenge. Jin gets even more scared when she hears the news of the death of her homeroom teacher who used to always defend her. Dong-eun immediately confirmed the news. She admitted that it was her doing. Knowing that the homeroom teacher had asthma disease, she sent lots of bouquets of flowers to make his asthma flare up. Dong-eun also warned Jin not to transfer Dong-eun or her daughter to another school. It is because Jin feels frightened, she tries to meet the principal in order to transfer Dong-eun. But her efforts are in vain, because Dong-eun is a recommended teacher from the chairman of the foundation. Not giving up, Jin persuaded her husband to change their daughter's school. But her husband refuses because it is the school of Jin's own choice. On the other hand, Jung is commemorating the anniversary of his father's death, who died because he was killed by his patient. This made Jung live with trauma, which made him have to routinely consult mental health. Although he always looks cheerful, it turns out he has a pretty bitter past. Meanwhile, Nam is spying on Jong. Apparently, he managed to exchange Jong's cell phone. On the other hand, Dong-eun visits Sarah at the church. She threatened to report Sarah to the police on suspicion of being a drug addict if Sarah did not fill Dong-eun's bag with money. One day, at Go Park, Dong-eun remembered Jung. Finally, after 8 years of ignoring all the SMS sent by Jung, today Dong-eun replied. Elsewhere, Jung, who received an SMS reply from Dong-eun, was very happy. He immediately contacted Dong-eun. After that they met and shared life stories. Jung, who looks so cheerful, makes Dong-eun say that she doesn't need a prince. Now she needs a partner to avenge her. That same day, Dong-eun told all of her bitter past and showed all the wounds on her body. Without thinking twice, Jung agrees to become Dong-eun's partner. The next day, Jae-jun gets a package containing the results of a DNA match test. Now he knows that Jin's daughter, Yi-seol, is his biological child. At that time he met Jin and intended to return to Jin. But Jin doesn't admit it. It's because her husband is now much richer than Jae-jun. Finally, he decided to approach his daughter. One day, he intends to pick up his daughter. But while at a traffic light, he realized that his daughter was also colorblind. After making sure that Yesel was his biological child, he contacted his lawyer to ask for custody of Yesel. But unfortunately, that is impossible because Jin is still Deo-yeon's legal wife. On the other hand, after Myong-oh was told by Dong-eun that Seo-hee's killer was Jin, he disappeared and reportedly went to Russia. But apparently he was killed by someone wearing green high heels. And apparently the high heels look like Jin's. After that, Jin was afraid of the consequences of being involved in Seo-hee's murder. And now the next target is Jong. She received Dong-eun's threats containing photos of her liking Jae-jun. And if this is known to her future husband, her marriage is threatened with failure. One day, she met her future mother-in-law. But she was surprised when she saw her mother-in-law met and got along well with At this
Dong-eun.
time, Jong was really scared. She even knelt before Dong-eun so that Dong-eun would forgive her. But with one condition, Jong must report to the police the disappearance of Myong-oh. Meanwhile, Jin's husband has taken Dong-eun's bait. In the Go Game arena, he challenges Dong-eun to a game. One day, Dong-eun invited a student's parents to attend a class. But Yi-seol's father was surprised when he saw Jae-jun always close to his daughter. Finally, he asked Jae-jun to talk. From the conversation, Do-yeon finds out that Jae-jun and his wife were friends with Dong-eun. One day, Deo-yeon met Jung. He intends to find out information on his wife's past by bribing Jong with a branded bag. Finally, Jong tells all of Jin's past, Dong-eun and everyone involved. Arriving home, Do-yeon asks his wife, but no answer. The next day, the police notified Jae-jun of Myong-oh's disappearance. Knowing this, Jae-jun and his gang panic when the police investigate another case involving Myong-oh and his friends. Due to their emotions, they accused each other of who had reported the case of Myong-oh's disappearance to the police. Meanwhile, from her mother's friend, who is a police chief, Jin gets information about where Dong-eun lives. She was shocked when she found out that Dong-eun had been living in front of her house all this time. Finally, she ordered people to break into Dong-eun's house. When she entered, she was even more shocked when she saw Dong-eun's room full of photos of her and all those involved in Dong-eun's bullying case. Starting from approaching everyone around him, everything seems well planned. On the other hand, Do-yeon meets Dong-eun because he is still curious. And finally Dong-eun told everything. After that, Do-yeon took Dong-eun home. But when they got there, they saw Yeon-jin looking at photos of her and her gang when bullied Dong-eun.